What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today I was going to do my USHL NHL divisional All-Star teams, but guess what I did? I forgot to make them, so I should be doing that tomorrow's episode, assuming I remember to do it. Um, so yeah, that'd be a good start if I remember to do them for sure. But today's to-do list, is predictions as per usual. Then we're gonna preview the Dylan. Previewing the USHL Conference Finals, Eastern and Western. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And then we'll be reviewing yesterday's 3 NHL games. And then we'll preview today's/tomorrow's NHL and USHL games. So what I mean by that, if I do my podcast earlier in the day, I'll be previewing the games of the day of. If I'm doing an episode later, I'll be previewing the next day of games. Since I'm doing it later today again, I'll be previewing tomorrow's NHL and USHL games. There is NHL and USHL games tomorrow. Both the conference finals start tomorrow for the USHL and NHL. There's more playoff action tomorrow. So yeah, that's what we're looking like right now for today. If you're on YouTube, you can see. If not, I'll go over one more time. Predictions, preview the conference finals, USHL, review yesterday's NHL games, and then preview tomorrow's NHL games and USHL games. So yeah, that's what we're doing. First, before we get into that, all my social medias, X/Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. My website, Spotify, Twitch, Discord, my Discord, my American football channel, my basketball channel, my baseball channel, all of that. USHL discussion Facebook group, about 5.2 thousand USHL fans. Saints for Life group, 1,000 Big Fine Saints fans, all of that, and a paragraph and a half who I am more to this podcast. Another paragraph, how to contact me if you have any comments, questions, concerns about this podcast. All that much more is in the description of this podcast episode. Check it out if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you like this podcast. Following on Spotify, same thing. Like this episode if you like this episode in particular. Liking on Spotify, same thing. And last but not least, turn on post notification to the channel if you want to know live every time I go live and I'll upload a video on this channel. So, yeah. With that being said, let's get into predictions here. Are we ready for episode 30? Episode 30. So my prediction for today's game that the Lightning defeating the Panthers. I didn't think they were going to drop 2 in Tampa. The inevitable has happened yet again. My mic has cut out. Still using the computer mic again. So that's what we're doing here. But is there a way I can turn this up by chance? That'd be great. My computer mic is quite quiet. It's fine. It's alright. I can't really turn it up anymore. That's fine. But yeah. So with that being said, you might have to turn up your device or whatever if you want to, but if not, it's fine. But yeah, they ended up dropping it. Florida is up 2-0 heading to Florida. Yeah, heading to Sunrise, Florida, not Tampa. They're both in Florida, but Sunrise. Ottawa defeating Toronto. Toronto won back again in overtime today. I had Vegas defeating Minnesota. Minnesota's winning 4-1. And I had the Blues defeating the Jets, which are winning 3-0 last time I checked. So, yeah. That's what it looks like for predictions. Yo, there we go. Alright. Bring that. Sorry about that. But yeah, bring myself closer to the computer here. Okay. So, let's go over here to tomorrow, preview the conference finals for the USHL. So, preview the conference finals of the USHL. Let me plug in my mic, see if it's back on before we get into the conference finals here. You can see the schedule here while I'm waiting on YouTube. Okay, I plugged in my mic. I gotta see on OBS Studio over here, see if it turned on here. See if it gets detected. Wow. Okay, I did. Okay, we're back on my good mic. So yeah, Glad that got detected. So, conference final for the USHL. We'll start with the East as we've been doing all year. We got the number 2 seeded Dubuque Flying Saints hosting the number 4 seeded Muskegon Lumberjacks. So, coming into the series, Lumberjacks have made the conference final for 7 out of the last 8 seasons, but haven't made the Clark Cup final since 2015. Conference finals. They've been losing a lot in the conference finals, including last year, and they got swept by Dubuque in 3 games. Dubuque was the higher seed that series. They will continue to be the higher seed this year. Both teams are red hot. These are probably the 2 hottest teams. What is up with my microphone? Holy moly. Okay. I'll try something here real quick. It's not gonna fix my mic. I'm using my computer mic again. W computer mic in the chat, bro. He's having me backed up, bro. Not gonna lie, bro. Always having me backed up. But yeah, okay. So, Muskegon, 4-game win streak. They won the first game of Cedar Rapids. They dropped the second game. They were up 3-1, heading to the third period. Actually, in the third period, I believe. It was in the third period, but I believe they scored in the third period as well. But either way, Cedar Rapids scored 3 unanswered in the third period, came back and won. Stole game 2, Muskegon. Came back game 3, defeated Cedar Rapids, moved on to play Youngstown. Came into Youngstown, smacked Youngstown 5-3. It was 5-0 at one point, by the way. And they came into Youngstown game 2, smacked Youngstown again. I believe that was also 5-3, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. So then they came into Muskegon, and they defeated Youngstown again. So Muskegon's a 4-game win streak themselves, including sweeping the number 1 seed of Youngstown. Dubuque came into the playoffs earning a bye, facing the Madison Capitals, who swept Green Bay. Who ended up sweeping Green Bay. Came in, Madison shut them out game 1. Caballo got a 3-0 shutout victory in Dubuque. Came back in Dubuque the next night. I think it was the next night, actually. Outburst with 4 second period goals. 6-1 W, heading to Madison. Madison's one of, if not the best home teams in the USHL. Dubuque takes them down 4-2 in Game 3, and then Game 4, Dubuque wins 6-1, so they dominated them Game 4. Dubuque looked very good in Game 3 and 4. And Madison, Dubuque's on a 3-game win streak. They're red hot right now. Saints came up just short last season in the Clark Cup final. Madison Muskegon does not like the Saints. They want to get revenge from last year. Saints do not like the Lumberjacks. They want to do what they did to them last season. And Saints have unfinished business, as their slogan says right now. So, a lot of heat between these two teams. Both teams want it really, really bad. We're going to see which team wants it more. Game 1 will be Friday, April 25th. So, tomorrow when I'm recording this, 7:05 p.m. Central, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific. That's Game 1. Game 2 is Saturday, April 26th, so the next night, 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific. Okay, that's what we're looking like right now for that one. Game 3 is Tuesday, April 29th, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, 6:10 p.m. Central, 4:10 p.m. Pacific. That's what we're looking like right now. Game 4, if necessary, will be held in Muskegon, just like Game 3. 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central, 4:10 Pacific time. And then Game 5, if necessary, will be held Saturday, May 3rd, 7:05 Central, 8:05 Central, 5:05 Pacific. All this is on the USHL website and USHL app on your phone. Websites on your phone, computer, Xbox, PS, whatever you use, really. Nintendo even, I don't know. I don't know if it's on there neither, but whatever you use, and then the app is on your phone. So, yeah, there's that. Look here, if you're on YouTube, you can see it right here. And then that's the Eastern Conference final preview. Starts on Friday in Dubuque tomorrow. And then so we get to the Western Conference here. Western Conference finals. Here we go. Number 1, Lincoln Stars, been the best team in the league, best offense, most goals for, best defense, least goals against. One of, if not the best goaltenders in the league this season. They have top-end talent Jack Picard, Dashiell Oliver, etc., etc. Bruno, Edzan, whoever you say, I always say his last name. First name Bruno. He stepped up big time during these playoffs. Got a couple of critical goals in the first series that they played with Sioux City in the second round, and they got a bye. That was their first round they played. They've been great. They've been dominant all season. Swept Sioux City. They are probably the hottest team in the league, honestly, since they were the best team in the regular season and they swept Sioux City. Yeah, they're definitely the heavy favorites not only to win the series, but then eventually win the cup. They're definitely the favorites to do so. But if you look at the team they're facing, definitely underdogs in the series. We had the Waterloo Blackhawks. Waterloo Blackhawks came into the playoffs, number 3 seed. Last year, they got swept by Lincoln Stars in the first round. They were the 3 seed. Lincoln was the 6 seed. They got swept by them. Came back this season with vengeance. They were the 3 seed again. This time they swept their opponent. This time they were Tri-City. 2 very good games. They ended up coming on top in both of them. Very good games. Waterloo swept Tri-City. Headed to Sioux Falls. Upset Sioux Falls in Game 1. Lost in Game 2. Won in Game 3. And then won in a double overtime. Absolutely phenomenal double overtime game. Brandon McMorrow, overtime winner. Brandon McMorrow has been phenomenal this playoff. Stepped up from big time. Waterloo, Carter Casey, affiliate call-up in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. Been phenomenal ever since. Standing out of its mind, seeing Waterloo some games here and there. Waterloo is really hot in themselves. They won 5 out of the last 6 games with the playoff. They won 5 out of 6 playoff games. And the one game they lost was in Sioux Falls, Game 2, after they beat them in Sioux Falls. So yeah, Waterloo's hot for themselves. 2 really hot teams as well. So yeah, very interesting to see how this goes. Lincoln Stars host Game 1 Friday, April 25th, 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 Pacific. And then Game 2 will be in Lincoln versus Waterloo. 6:05 Central, 7:05 Eastern, 4:05 Pacific. Game 3 will be in Waterloo versus Lincoln Wednesday, April 30th, 6:35 p.m. Central, 7:35 p.m. Eastern, and 4:35 p.m. Pacific. Game 4, if necessary, will be in Waterloo versus Lincoln Thursday, May 1st, 6:35 Central, 7:35 p.m. Eastern, 4:35 p.m. Pacific. Game 5, if necessary, Saturday, May 3rd, 6:05 p.m. Central, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, 4:05 p.m. Pacific time. If you're on YouTube, you can see both the series thing here. Again, all this is on the website and app of the USHL app and USHL website. So check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, for review, if you have already, check it out again. But yeah, you didn't know here, the winner of each conference final series will advance to Clark Cup final. The series structure is 2-2-1, which be the higher seeds home location would get the first 2 home games, and then the next 2 home games would go to the other team, and then the last one would go to higher seeds home location again, with games 1, 2, and 5 held at the home of the higher seed. In the Clark Cup playoff feature 12 teams, 6 from each of the Eastern and Western conferences, and 4 rounds. Started with the best of 3 first round series between the 3, 6 seeds and 4 and 5 seeds from each conference. The top 2 seeds in each conference receive first round byes. So yeah, that's what we're looking like right now. Eastern and Western Conference Finals starting on Friday, 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, and 5:05 Pacific for both the games in Lincoln and Dubuque respectively. So yeah, what's the USA's NHL games? You got the Capitals and the Canadiens. Capitals, your Canadiens started off pretty, I wouldn't say started off hot, but started the second period off hot, broke the ice 116 in the second period. Christian Dvorak, and then Michael tied it up not too long later, and then right after that, Dylan Strome took the lead, and then late in the game, McMichael had 2nd of the night in the playoffs in the empty net, but Logan Thompson, wow, he faced, 16 shots in the third period. Canadians are peppering him the whole third period, made 16 saves in all of them. He made all 16 saves, 25 saves, 26 shots against Logan Thompson. He stole the show in Washington. Washington's up 2-0 in the series versus Montreal. Game 3 will be played tomorrow in Montreal, Friday. Game 3, Avalanche and Stars. Valanchuk's getting on 4-on-4. Dekes out the Stars defender. Miscommunication, wide open front, pots at home. And then Jamie Benn on the power play, pots at home. Harley, he gets it back to Harley. Harley shoots it down low right at Jamie Benn's stick. Beautiful tip. Tie game. And in overtime, Tyler Seguin, second of the playoffs. Overtime winner, back-to-back overtime wins for the Stars. And this is without Heiskanen and Robinson, and the Avalanche got Gabriel Landeskog back, which is a very great story, by the way. But with Robinson and Heiskanen returning any game now, I'm not quite sure, and the Avalanche having to win at least one in Dallas if they want to win this series, Stars control their own fate when it comes to this series. Do I think the Avalanche will win still? Yes, I do think they will, but the way they're playing, especially defensively, is not very promising. And so, yeah, let's see what they do here. But the Kings and the Oilers, Kings go up big time. They do not let the Oilers even give a chance to come back. 24 saves and 26 shots against for Darcy Kemper. Kings win both games at Crypto.com Arena, continuing to be the best home team in the NHL this season. And Kings lead the series 2-0, heading back to Edmonton for Game 3. I believe that's also on Friday. We're going to preview tomorrow's NHL and USHL games, starting with NHL since we're on the NHL website here. Game 3, Canadiens hosting the Capitals. Capitals, Game 1. Oh, no defense. I'll say that. No defense, all offense. Ovechkin gets 2 goals in the first game, including first career playoff overtime winner. Gets the overtime winner in Washington in the Game 2. Canadiens only got 10 shots in the first 2 periods. Got 16 in the third period. Logan Thompson played out of his mind, stole the game. Capitals won both the first 2 games somehow by the skin of their teeth. They come back here in Montreal. Montreal has a chip on their shoulder. They lost both the first 2 games by a sliver of an inch. And the Canadiens are coming back here with vengeance. First playoff game in the Bell Center in a while. Well, I guess in 2021, it wasn't that long ago, but still. Felt like forever. But yeah. Canadiens are ready to go here. They're revved up. So is Logan Thompson up for the Capitals. And I'm interested to see how both attendees play, how the defense works for both of these teams, and see who comes out on top. I'm still predicting the Canadiens to come out on top here because I think the actual juice they're going to get from the Bell Center and how loud it's going to be going to throw the Capitals and Logan Thompson off. So I think the Canadiens win that one. Game 3, the Hurricanes and the Devils. Devils have their first home game of the series. The first game, they got absolutely torn to shreds. Maybe not on the scoreboard necessarily, but the shots were 45-26, and the shots the Hurricanes were getting were every single shot I felt like was in the slot, wide open in front of the slot. Second game was much more evenly matched. Hurricanes were barely able to come out on top, but much evenly matched, much better play defense than the Devils. So the Devils play a lot better in Game 2. If they can play even better than they did in Game 2, I could see them taking a W in Game 3, but I think the Hurricanes have played so great. Freddie Anderson's been playing so great. I think the Hurricanes will take Game 3 here, too, in New Jersey. And then Game 3, Kings and the Oilers in Edmonton. David, Draisaitl's got 2 goals already in 2 games, a goal in each. McDavid's got, first game he had like 3 points, 2 assists and a goal in Game 1. Kings scored 12 goals, including 11 of those 12 goals in the first 2 games on Stuart Skinner. I would put Pickard in net if I was Chris Knoblauch, but I'm not sure what he's going to do there. I think the Oilers will pick up Game 3 barely. I think it'll be really close, but I think the Oilers will get a job done. I think Draisaitl and McDavid are going to carry him to get one done in Edmonton. But yeah, preview tomorrow's game, but that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great night, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time you watch. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow on Spotify, same thing. Like this episode if you haven't already. Like Spotify, same thing. Turn on post notifications channel if you haven't already. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, if I remember to make my USHL NHL All-Star team, I'll be doing that tomorrow. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Episode 30 of Season 10, when I previewed the conference finals and did the other stuff as well. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 31 of Season 10. Hopefully, the NHL All-Star team, if I remember this time. Yeah, see you there. Peace.